Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
The week begins in Port Charles with tension brewing at every turn. The fall air outside General Hospital feels cold and uneasy as Elizabeth stands in the corridor, her eyes red from sleepless nights. She's waiting for Finn, and when he finally approaches, she doesn't hide her frustration. "You didn't return my calls," she snaps, her voice trembling. Finn sighs, rubbing the back of his neck. "I needed time to think, Liz. What you told me, it's a lot to process." Elizabeth folds her arms, staring him down. "I didn't expect you to just walk away," she says softly. Finn looks away, torn between his pride and his guilt. "You kept something from me, something big. I can't just pretend that didn't happen." The tension between them is thick, and even as Elizabeth tries to apologize, it's clear their relationship might be hanging by a thread. At the same time, in the Metro Court, Carly and Sunny find themselves in a familiar dance of concern and suspicion. Carly leans forward at their table, her eyes sharp. "So, you're telling me you ran into Ava again? At the gallery?" Sunny exhales, trying to keep his voice calm. "It wasn't planned, Carly. She said she had something I needed to see." Carly laughs, but there's no humor in it. "You mean something she wanted you to see?" Ava doesn't move without an agenda. Sunny doesn't disagree. "Maybe. But this time, it's about Avery. She's worried someone's been following her." Carly freezes, the color draining from her face. "Following her? Or following you?" The question lingers in the air, both of them realizing that danger might be circling closer than they thought. Meanwhile, at the Quartermain mansion, tension and humor mix as Brooklyn and Chase argue over baby Amelia's bedtime routine. Chase rocks the baby gently while Brooklyn flips through a baby book. "It says right here that consistency is key," she insists. Chase laughs. "You read too many books." Amelia doesn't care about routines, she just wants to be held. Brooklyn raises an eyebrow. "Oh really? So when she's still awake at 2 in the morning, I'll remind you of this conversation." Their playful banter masks something deeper, though, Brooklyn's worry about her father, Ned, whose memory lapses have begun to worsen again. Later, as she stands in the foyer, she quietly asks Lois, "Mom, what if this isn't just stress? What if Dad's condition is coming back?" Lois wraps an arm around her, whispering, "We'll handle it, baby." The Quartermains always do. But both women know that's not entirely true. Elsewhere in town, Sam and Dante find themselves at odds again as the search for new leads in a cold case takes a dangerous turn. Dante spreads the case file across the table at Kelly's. "We've been over this 100 times, Sam. There's no proof Jason was set up." Sam leans closer, her tone sharp. "There's no proof he wasn't either. You of all people should want to know who framed him." Dante sighs, frustration clear on his face. "I want the truth, Sam, but I can't bend the rules to get it." She crosses her arms. "Maybe you don't have to, but I will." He stares at her for a long moment before saying quietly, "You start crossing lines, Sam, and you'll lose more than just answers." She turns away, her heart pounding. The danger doesn't scare her, it's the thought of losing him that does. Over at the hospital, Nina is still trying to navigate her complicated relationship with Willow. She stops by the nurse's station with a hesitant smile. "I brought you coffee," she says softly, setting the cup down. Willow glances at it, then at Nina. "You don't have to do that." Nina nods, her voice trembling just a little. "I know. But I want to." Willow studies her for a moment before saying, "I'm not ready to forgive you. But I'm trying to understand you." For the first time in a long time, Nina feels a flicker of hope. "That's all I'm asking for," she replies, her eyes glistening. Across the hallway, Michael watches the exchange silently. Later, when Willow joins him, he admits, "Part of me wants to believe she's changing." Willow smiles faintly. "Maybe she is. Or maybe she's just learning what she lost." Meanwhile, at the docks, a shadowy figure exchanges an envelope with a stranger. It's Dex, and his expression is grim. "Tell Jagger that's all I could get for now," he mutters. The stranger nods. He's not gonna like waiting. Dex watches him leave, his stomach twisting. He knows he's walking a dangerous line, caught between Sunny's world and whatever secret task Jagger's assigned him. Later, when Jocelyn corners him outside Kelly's, she can tell something's off. "You're hiding something from me," she accuses. Dex shakes his head. "You don't want to know." Jocelyn steps closer. "Try me." He meets her gaze, torn between protecting her and losing her trust. "If I tell you, you could get hurt." She doesn't flinch. "Then let me decide if it's worth it." In another part of town, Laura finds herself meeting with Anna and Robert at the mayor's office. Papers are spread across her desk, photographs and documents hinting at a new threat in Port Charles. Robert points to a file. This name keeps popping up, Silas Cade. He's tied to everything from arms smuggling to identity fraud. Anna frowns. He's smart. And careful. If he's setting up in Port Charles, it's for a reason. Laura leans back in her chair. We've dealt with worse, but not recently. Let's make sure we don't underestimate him. Anna nods, already strategizing. Then we'll start by finding out who he's connected to. My gut says he's not working alone. Robert smirks. In this town? He never is. As midweek arrives, the hospital buzzes with activity when Liz receives shocking news: Aiden has been brought in after a school accident. Terrified, she rushes to the ER, only to find Lucky there, talking to a nurse. Their eyes meet, and time stops. "Lucky?" she whispers. He turns, his expression a mix of shock and longing. "Hey, Liz." Tears spring to her eyes as she rushes forward. "You came back." Lucky nods slowly. "I had to. Aiden called me." Elizabeth covers her mouth in disbelief. The reunion is raw and emotional, full of memories they've both tried to bury. Later, as Aiden recovers, Lucky tells her quietly, "I found something. Evidence that could clear your name." Liz frowns. "What are you talking about?" He hesitates. "The PCPD has been looking in the wrong place. I think someone's framing you, and I can prove it." Meanwhile, Jason and Carly share a tense moment in the Corinthos office. Carly's pacing, her frustration evident. "So you're just gonna let Dex walk around like nothing's wrong?" Jason leans forward. "He's useful. And right now, we need him." Carly shakes her head. "You trust him too much." "I can see it, he's hiding something." Jason's voice is low. "Maybe. But until we know who he's working for, I need to keep him close." Carly stops, staring at him. "You sound like Sunny." Jason doesn't respond, and that silence says everything. At the same time, Trina and Spencer's story takes another emotional turn as he continues his therapy sessions, trying to work through the trauma from Esme's death. Trina visits him at the therapist's office, waiting until he steps out. "You didn't call," she says softly. Spencer looks exhausted. "I didn't know what to say." Trina steps closer, her eyes filled with worry. "Then say what's real. Stop hiding from me." Spencer sighs. "I keep seeing her face, Trina. I don't even know what's real anymore." She takes his hand. "Then start with this, me. I'm real. I'm here." He looks at her, his voice breaking. "I don't deserve you." She shakes her head. "That's not your decision." Elsewhere, at the Savoy, Curtis hosts a charity event that draws nearly everyone in town. The night seems perfect until a mysterious guest slips inside, watching from the shadows. Marshall senses something's off and quietly alerts Curtis. "Someone's here who doesn't belong," he murmurs. Curtis scans the crowd and spots a familiar face, Silas Cade. Their eyes lock briefly before Silas disappears into the crowd. Curtis mutters, "Looks like trouble just found us." Back at General Hospital, tensions explode when Ava confronts Nina. "You think you can just walk back into everyone's life and pretend nothing happened?" Ava's voice is sharp, full of bitterness. Nina fires back, "At least I'm trying. When's the last time you tried to fix anything?" Ava steps closer, her tone icy. "The difference between us is, I know who I am. You still don't." Their words cut deep, and when Sonny walks in, both women freeze. "Enough," he says firmly. "Whatever this is, it ends now." Ava glares at him. "You should be asking what Nina's been hiding from you." Nina's face pales as she stammers, "That's not fair, Ava." Sonny narrows his eyes. "Then tell me, what's she talking about?" As the week draws to a close, secrets start to unravel. At the PCPD, Lucky meets with Dante and hands him a folder. Everything's in there, the bank records, the surveillance footage. It proves Liz was set up. Dante flips through the files, stunned. "Where did you get this?" Lucky hesitates. "From someone who doesn't want to be named. Let's just say they have their own reasons." Dante looks at him sharply. "You realize what this means? If you're right, someone inside the department's involved." Lucky nods grimly. "That's what I'm afraid of." In the final moments of the week, the drama reaches a breaking point. At Pier 55, a confrontation turns violent when Dex meets the same mysterious contact again, only this time, Jagger Cates shows up in person. "You've been holding out on me," Jagger growls. Dex stands firm. "I'm not your errand boy." Jagger's voice hardens. "You work for me, or you end up in the river." Suddenly, a shot rings out, and both men dive for cover. In the chaos, Dex looks up just in time to see Jason emerging from the shadows, gun drawn. "That's enough!" Jason yells. Jagger smirks. "Didn't expect you here, Morgan." Jason glares at him. "You're playing a dangerous game, Cates." Jagger chuckles darkly. "You have no idea." As sirens echo in the distance and Jason helps Dex to his feet, the screen fades to black, leaving Port Charles on edge, wondering who fired the shot and what it means for everyone involved. The fallout, as always, is only beginning as the echo of gunfire fades across the pier. Chaos breaks loose. Jason grabs Dex by the collar and pulls him behind a stack of crates. "Stay down," he shouts. Dex, shaken, coughs as smoke drifts through the cold night air. "Who fired that shot?" Jason scans the shadows. "Could have been anyone. But if Cates is involved, we're in deeper than I thought." Jagger smirks from a distance, clutching his bleeding arm. "You think you can stop me, Jason? You're just another player in a game that's already been decided." Jason's eyes narrow. "We'll see about that." As sirens grow louder, Jagger disappears into the dark, leaving Jason and Dex staring at each other, both realizing this fight is far from over. Back at General Hospital, Elizabeth paces outside the ER, her nerves frayed. Lucky finally walks out, his hands still stained with adrenaline. "He's gonna be okay," he says softly. Liz bursts into tears, clutching him tightly. "I don't know what I'd do if I lost him." Lucky holds her close. "You won't. He's strong, just like his mom." The emotional reunion is interrupted when Dante calls, his tone urgent. Lucky answers, and after a brief exchange, his face hardens. That was Dante. "Something went down at the pier, Jason's involved." Liz frowns. "You're not going down there, are you?" Lucky hesitates. "If this connects to your case, I have to." She grabs his arm. "Then be careful. I just got you back." He nods, kissing her forehead before rushing out. Meanwhile, at the Metro Court penthouse, Nina sits alone, the silence weighing heavily on her. When the door bursts open, Sonny steps in, anger flashing in his eyes. "You lied to me," he says flatly. Nina's breath catches. I don't know what Ava told you, but don't, he interrupts sharply. I heard everything. You knew about Jagger's operation months ago and didn't say a word. Nina stammers, I thought I could handle it, I was trying to protect you. Sunny's expression darkens. You don't protect me by keeping secrets. Tears fill her eyes. I was scared. You were already under so much pressure. Sunny shakes his head, his tone soft but cutting. You don't get to decide what I can handle. You broke my trust, Nina. Again. She reaches for him, but he steps back, and that distance between them feels final. Across town, Carly vents to Jason over the phone. I knew it, she snaps. Jagger Cates, he's been sniffing around for months. He's after something big, Jason. Jason's voice is calm but strained. He's not working alone. We need to find out who's backing him. Carly paces, her frustration building. And in the meantime, what? We just wait for the next explosion? Jason's silence says it all. Carly sighs heavily. Fine. But if he comes near my family again, I won't wait for your permission to handle it. Jason's quiet voice replies, neither will I. Over at Kelly's, Jocelyn sits at a corner table, anxiously scrolling through her phone. When Dex finally walks in, she jumps up. Where have you been? I heard there was a shooting. Dex grabs her hands, his voice low. I'm okay. Jason was there. Jocelyn glares at him. You're lying again. I can see it in your face. He hesitates. I can't tell you everything. She pulls her hands away. Then don't tell me anything. I'm done being half in your life. Dax looks gutted. Joss, please, no, she says, her voice breaking. You promised me honesty, and all I get are pieces. I can't do this anymore. She walks out, leaving him standing there, realizing he's losing the only person who still believes in him. At the Savoy, Curtis and Marshall meet with Anna and Robert to discuss the night's events. Anna spreads out photos on the table. Cates is pushing something through Port Charles, illegal shipments, possibly linked to arms trafficking. Curtis frowns. And he's doing it right under our noses. Robert adds, we've been tracking the same shipments through the harbor, but they keep disappearing off the grid. Marshall leans back. That's because he's got someone inside feeding him intel. Anna nods grimly. Which means we've got a leak, and I think it's someone close to Sunny. Curtis raises an eyebrow. If that's true, then everyone's in danger. Meanwhile, Brooklyn and Chase finally get a quiet night at home. The baby monitor hums softly as Brooklyn curls up on the couch beside him. Do you ever think about how much has changed? She asks. Chase smiles faintly. Every day. She takes a deep breath. When I was younger, I thought love was supposed to be easy. But it's not, is it? Chase shakes his head. No. But it's worth it. They sit in silence for a while, comforted by the small peace they've carved out amid the chaos. But when Brooklyn checks her phone and sees a message from Lois, come to the house right now. It's Dad. Her blood runs cold. She grabs her coat. Chase, we have to go. Something's wrong with my father. Back at the Quartermain estate, Monica is on the phone with a doctor while Lois paces. Ned sits nearby, confused and agitated. I don't understand. Why is everyone acting like I'm sick again? Lois kneels in front of him, tears in her eyes. Because we love you, Eddie. We just need to make sure you're okay. Ned frowns. Stop calling me that. My name's Ned. Brooklyn arrives, rushing to his side. Dad, it's gonna be all right. He looks at her blankly. I wish I could believe that. The heartbreak on Brooklyn's face is almost too much to bear. Later, as Monica ends the call, she looks at Lois and whispers, we need to run more tests. His memory lapses are getting worse. Lois nods, her voice breaking. Not again. Please, not again. At the hospital, Finn finds Liz sitting alone in the waiting area. You've had a long night, he says gently. She nods without looking at him. I'm fine. He sits beside her. No, you're not. And that's okay. She sighs. Lucky's back. Everything's complicated. Finn smiles sadly. It always is with you. She finally looks at him, searching his face. I didn't mean to hurt you, Finn. He nods. I know. But maybe we both need to figure out what we really want before we hurt each other again. Liz's eyes glisten as she whispers, maybe you're right. Elsewhere, Sam visits Alexis at her office, dropping a folder on her desk. This is it, the evidence Lucky found. It ties into the same files Dante's been chasing. Alexis flips through the papers, her eyes widening. If this is real, then the corruption inside the PCPD is worse than we thought. Sam nods grimly. And whoever's behind it is working with Kate's. Alexis looks up, her expression determined. Then we expose them. No matter who it is. Later that evening, Sunny meets with Anna at the docks under the cover of darkness. You said you had something, he says quietly. Anna hands him a file. Kate's is moving shipments through Pier 55 using a shell company, one that's been receiving funding from inside Corinthos Coffee. Sunny's jaw tightens. You're saying someone in my own organization is betraying me? Anna nods. Looks that way. And whoever it is, they're covering their tracks well. Sunny glances toward the water, his face hard. Then I'll find them. And when I do, they'll wish they never set foot in Port Charles. As Friday rolls around, the fallout begins to spread. Carly and Drew argue in the Metro Court office, their tension palpable. I'm not the enemy, Carly, Drew insists. Carly crosses her arms. Then stop acting like you know what's best for me. He sighs. I'm trying to help. You're getting too involved in Sunny's mess again. Carly's tone sharpens. That's my family, Drew. I'll never walk away from them. He nods slowly. Even if it destroys you? The question lingers, cutting deeper than either of them expected. Meanwhile, Trina finds herself standing outside Spencer's apartment, debating whether to knock. When he opens the door, he looks surprised but relieved. I didn't think you'd come back. She smiles softly. You didn't call. He chuckles, the tension easing slightly. Touché. They sit together, and for a moment, the world fades away. Spencer takes a deep breath. I keep trying to fix things, Trina. But every time I think I'm close, something pulls me back. She reaches for his hand. Then stop trying to fix everything. Just be here. He looks at her with gratitude, finally letting go of the weight he's been carrying. At the hospital later that night, Lucky walks into the PCPD with Dante, the file in hand. We need to talk to the commissioner, he says firmly. But before they can reach her office, a uniformed officer stops them. You can't go in there. Dante frowns. Why not? The officer hesitates. She's in a meeting with Kate's. Lucky and Dante exchange a stunned glance. He's here? Dante mutters. Lucky nods grimly. Guess we found our leak. Inside the commissioner's office, Jagger sits calmly across from her, his arm now bandaged. I'm just here to cooperate, he says smoothly. I'm not the bad guy. The commissioner narrows her eyes. You're not fooling anyone, Kate's. I know exactly what you're doing. He smirks. Then you should also know I've got friends in high places. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. Just then, the door bursts open and Dante storms in. Too late for that. Jagger stands, his tone dripping with mock amusement. Detective Falconeri, always so dramatic. Lucky steps forward, slamming the file on the desk. You're under investigation for obstruction, conspiracy, and attempted murder. Jagger laughs. You'll never make it stick. Dante replies coldly, watch us. As the confrontation heats up, the screen cuts to Liz at home, staring out the window as snow begins to fall. Aiden's asleep upstairs, and the house is quiet, but she can't shake the feeling that something bigger is coming. Her phone buzzes with a message from Lucky, it's starting. Stay safe. She sets the phone down, her reflection flickering in the glass, whispering to herself, we've been here before, and it never ends quietly. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Sonny stands alone in his office, staring at a photograph of his family. His phone rings, it's Jason. We've got a problem, Jason says. Sonny closes his eyes. What now? Jason's voice is low and tense. Kate's isn't working alone. There's someone else pulling the strings, and they just made their move. Sonny exhales slowly, the darkness settling around him. Then we hit back harder. As the week draws to a close, the final montage plays out, Nina crying alone in her penthouse as she stares at Sonny's empty chair. Brooklyn watching her father sleep, whispering, please come back to us. Trina and Spencer holding hands under the city lights, finding a fragile peace. Jason and Sonny loading weapons in silence, preparing for war. And finally, Liz standing on her porch as Lucky approaches, his voice quiet but urgent. They know we're onto them. She looks up at him, fear in her eyes. Then what happens now? Lucky's answer is soft but certain. Now, we fight. And with that, General Hospital fades out for the week, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, knowing the battle lines in Port Charles have been drawn once again.